Hello everyone. How are you feeling today? That's great. I'm Sitaraman Raghavasubramanian, founder director, Got to a Bistec, trusted partner in your learning journey. We are going to talk about the content versus context. What is the hidden difference that changes everything? Have you ever explained something perfectly, but the other person still did not get it? It happens, doesn't it? Or you try to share a message in a meeting only to realize later that the people interpreted the message completely in a different way. Why it happens? It happens because content is only half of the story. The other half, which is more powerful, is context. So what does content have? The content has the details, the story, who, what, when, where, why, and how, and of course the perceptions. The context, which is the other important piece, is clearly showing what do I want to think, what do I want to feel, what do I want to deliver, what energy I'm creating out of the content. Say for example, I'm here to set you and up for success. So that makes sense. This is the context for my story of the details, who, what, where, when, why, and how. I'm here to generate a win-win. So the purpose and the context is really clear. So the context is what you say. Content is what you say, and context is why, when, and under what conditions you say. Content informs the mind. What is that you want to deliver? What are all the details? What are all the frameworks? What are all the guidelines? What are all the stories you want to tell? But context really shapes the meaning. Who are all listening? What are all their levels? What is that you want them to understand out of your content? This is very clear from the context perspective. To be precise, content is like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you put water into a bottle, it becomes a bottle. If you put it in a teapot, the water shape becomes a teapot. Let us understand artificial story to differentiate the content from the context. Imagine a new manager sends a message to his team at 10 p.m. night. We need to discuss tomorrow's deliverable. What does it mean? The message is coming at 10 p.m. or business hours, so that means there is something important. Now the content is pretty simple, right, and straightforward. There is a discussion required. What is the context? It is late at the night, the team is already under pressure, they have never worked with this manager before. Then what happens? People assume the worst side of it. So it's a people's tendency, right? So always we think the worst side of it. Is something wrong because the manager is sending the message at 10 p.m.? Are we behind the schedule? Will this affect my appraisal? Because the thought process goes same content, but without a proper context, the meaning becomes distorted. It does not convey the right meaning. Similarly, in any leadership communication or team communication, the content drives the action, but context gives the alignment, which is really important, why the content is given. When leaders or managers provide the right context, people make better decisions because they tend to understand what is the context behind this content. They understand priorities faster. They feel included, not dictated. So if you tell why I am telling you the difference between content versus context, you understand this clearly and you feel included, right? Engagement increases automatically when I tell very clearly that this is the context with which I am talking. Of course, you get aligned sooner. The engagement happens fast. The context is the difference between the compliance and the commitment. So it is not a mere order, right? It is not a mere compliance. So it is also inviting commitment from your team members. To avoid miscommunications, let us talk about a framework. It is pretty simple and we follow it on a day-to-day basis. This is 3C. Clarity of the content. Why are you saying this? The second one is conditions. What is the background? What led to this communication? Third is the connection. How does this message impact the listener? Instead of saying, we need a discussion tomorrow, rephrase it and then say in 3C, since the client advanced the deadline and we want to deliver with quality, let us align tomorrow for 30 minutes. This makes a lot of sense. This has got clarity of the intent. This has got the conditions driving this communication. This has got the connection because the client wants the deadline to be shifted in advance. Okay? If we use 3C and repress it, the content is the same, but the context gets better. Eventually, when the context becomes better, the outcome is better. So before you send any message, email or WhatsApp or a meeting update, will this make sense without me in the room? That is the question to be asked by any leader or a manager. If the answer is no, then you need to strengthen the context. Because you should not leave any ambiguity in the minds of your team members or subordinates for that matter. When the content is clear, people understand. When the context is strong, people will start trusting you. And the trust is the foundation of every successful leader. Of course, the team as well. And this is the power of having a clear content and the context. Happy learning. Thank you very much.